I think our team is just in a very different place playing them this year than we were last year. I think last year it was, I believe, right after maybe we had lost to Mexico. And so we were, we just were so eager to get back out there and to make a statement. And I remember that game was very competitive. It was super physical. And we expect that same team.
We are joined today by Portland Thorns FC and United States Women's National Team midfielder Sam Coffey. Also have to throw in the mix, in case you aren't aware, a 2024 Olympic gold medalist. Sam Coffey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're stoked to have you on here because you're joining us right in the mix of it all. You are literally in the blender. SheBelieves Cup is right around the corner, and it's hard to believe that these are going to be the first games for USWNT. But it's February. It's mid to late February, and there was an off season before you got tossed into camps again. How was your off season? Was there something fun that you were able to do with the time that you had?
Yes, off season was really restful, very fun. I was definitely grateful to actually be able to shut down for like a good 2.5, 3 weeks. If there was any exercise, it was like feel good, go on a leisurely run, which just like doesn't happen much during the year. Yeah. So I got to enjoy some really great time with my friends, my family. I was in New York at home base for me for most of it. I got to go to Cabo with my mom and some of my friends, so that was super special. But other than that, it was really just kind of enjoying being able to slow things down a bit and not have to, travel here and there and everywhere, and, not have to be sort of in that grind of the training rhythm day after day, and just be able to rest both body and mind. And when you have the opportunity to take advantage of a few weeks like that, especially in the span of, after such a strenuous 2024, you got to take advantage of it. And so I felt very grateful to have some downtime and have a nice, slow, progressive build back up into fitness. But now I'm ready to go. Excited to get the year started.
Love that. Anytime anyone mentions, like any player mentions that they like spent some time in Mexico in their off season, I'm like, yes, let's go. What was something you enjoyed in Cabo?
What was it?
What was something that you really enjoyed in Cabo?
Oh man, my mom and I went on a couple different sails. We got to see blue whales migrating from Alaska down to Mexico. So we were like very close to these whales. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they jump out of the water. There's a word for it. I don't know what it is, but yeah. We were like honestly a little bit alarmingly close. There were a couple moments where I was like, maybe we should turn this boat around. But it's just like such a naturally beautiful place. It was so special just to be able to share it with her and some of my other friends. And the food is incredible. The culture is amazing. The weather was amazing as well. So just to be able to kind of just rest and like, put the phone away, unplug, just kind of be where my feet are at, enjoy a soccer-free week was again an opportunity we don't get very often, and so to be able to just have that time meant so much to me.
Nice.
Sam, we know you have a journalism education, so you were made for this, quite frankly. I wanted to give you the opportunity to write your own headline for the U.S. Women's National Team going into this SheBelieves Cup. So what do you got? No pressure.
Oh. Man, well, in an effort to like not play like a pun on my last name, I feel like that would be like a very newspaper thing to do, like fresh pot of coffee. Like, I don't know, like that's where my head is going.
Nice.
Especially as we exit the off season. Are you giggling?
That's funny.
I like that one. Especially as we exit the off season and kind of come back into season again. I feel rejuvenated. I feel rested. I'm feeling good and ready to go. I think though, if I were to take more of a philosophical angle to it, I would say just, this is a year like I really want to just hone in on my growth and development. And I think this sort of off year, for lack of a better term, where we don't have a major tournament, no World Cup, no Olympics, no qualifying, like is such a special opportunity to really just like delve into the areas of my game that I want to improve on and take advantage of every opportunity, every game, whether that's with club or country. And I think SheBelieves is a perfect way to start that. Like you said, we're in mid-February. Many of us, this is like some of our first real games of the year. And so, we know it's not going to be perfect, but we're so excited to get back out there together and kind of start this page turning process that we've been in. Like, it was kind of, we closed one chapter in 2024 with so much success and joy and things that we took from that. And now we're kind of starting this new chapter of what we want the years to come to look like. And I think that this tournament is such a perfect way to begin that.
Fresh pot of coffee. Something's brewing.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
USWNT. I love it. You know, you're getting a little bit reflective. So let's stay with that, because even though it's a little bit too late to say Happy New Year and everything like that, these are the first games of the year for the USWNT. So as you're taking like a moment or two to finally reflect on 2024, the things you accomplished, what are maybe some things that you want to add to your game in 2025? What are the things that you're looking forward to in the months to come?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could give you a long list of things that I'm trying to focus in on and improve in. But I think for me, I try to kind of pick one that's attacking and one that's defending and not overload myself with too much. I definitely am a growth mindset kind of person. And so it's easy to become overwhelmed with like all the things that I want to do better and all the things I want to improve. But on the defensive side of the ball, like I just want to continue to be the most front-footed and aggressive six that I can be. And you know, at times I have a tendency to kind of protect what's in behind me or maybe be too back-footed. And I just want to continue to be as front-footed and aggressive as I possibly can, because I think when I'm doing that, I can help the people around me be that, and it hopefully can help set a good tempo for the rest of the team. And then on the attacking side of the ball, like I just want to constantly be a six that's like progressing play and playing the most dangerous forward passes that can help the team build up and progress the ball down the field. I think in my position, it's like this little pressure cooker and there's a lot happening and there's often, you don't have a lot of time on the ball. Maybe it's one touch, two touch. Like I often don't get more than that, but how can I be as efficient like with those touches as possible and help break lines, you know, avoid going backwards? How can I help solve pressure? I think every team kind of presents a different challenge in that. And so for me, those are two big areas this year that I think I'm going to have a lot of opportunities to continue to improve and grow in. And I'm really excited to see the steps that I can take.
You are phenomenally introspective as a player, both for club and country, which I think definitely shows in just how you continue to evolve as a player. But when you look back at this past season with the Thorns, what was the biggest lesson that you took from that? And how are you gearing up for 2025?
Yeah, I think I learned a lot from our year last year. I think, you know, there were plenty of ups and downs. It was a bit of a roller coaster. You know, we went through changes as a club. We went through, you know, front office changes, team changes. I think for me, the biggest lesson is just, I think for myself and I think for all my teammates is just like, how can we be the best and most consistent version of ourselves? I think there was so much change around us within the team, external changes. And I think the more that we were able to kind of just come back to like who we are and what we want to do and accomplish both as individual players and as a team, what we were able to then play our best soccer. And I think that was a big learning. And then, you know, I've talked a bit about this at Media Day, but also just like coming back to this place of feeling proud and a sense of pride and being able to call yourself a Thorn. Like that's not something I ever take for granted. And I think we've lost a bit of that pride lately. And, you know, our club's been through a lot, and, you know, I'm proud of the way we've responded, but I think that this adversity and kind of this fire is only going to refine us and make us better. And so for me in 2025, that's kind of my big goal. Like I want us to come back to feeling that pride. And that's whether we're walking out at Providence Park or an away game or whatever it might be. Like it's an honor and a privilege to put on that jersey and to play for those that came before us, and the Beckys and the Sinkies and the Klings. And I ultimately just want to make them proud and our city proud and play with that pride again.
In that same thread, you mentioned some pretty big names there. Part of the shift maybe for the Thorns this season is the fact that some of those departures did take place. And we're talking about some pretty iconic players, not just for the Thorns, but in women's soccer in general. When we're talking about a Klingenberg or Sauerbrunn and Sinclair, those aren't just some random names to drop. And not only were they so impactful for the team on the pitch, but they were in so many ways off of it as well, specifically when you think about roles of leadership. Have you found yourself kind of maybe possibly embracing that role, that concept of a leader? And do you think that's something that can translate not only for club, but also for country as well, with so many kind of new faces coming into the mix with the national team?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a part of the game and a part of being on a team that I love. I think it feels very natural to me, and it's something I want to do. I think I love being able to be someone that players can come to, someone that can help encourage and build up the people around me. And I think in my position as a 6, like even just like locationally where I am on the field, it's a really unique position that I can help lead the team, help set tempo, hopefully help the team find a rhythm. And so it's definitely been something I'm stepping into in Portland, and I, take very seriously. And the fact that I've been able to spend the last 3 years learning and growing alongside the likes of Becky and Kling and Sinky, I believe has prepared me for now this moment where I'm kind of stepping into a bit of a bigger role. I do miss them, and I look around, I'm like, where are you? But they've made it clear too that like they're always available. They want to continue to help and support however they can, and I know they mean that. But yeah, to be able to do that for both club and country again is really just like an honor and a privilege, and something that I think it helps me continue to come into myself fully as a player and as a person, and to be able to lead again the Thorns and to help lead the U.S. Women's National Team are just the greatest honors, and something that I don't take lightly, and I just want to continue to do well.
That's very, very well said. I just want to dive into a little bit more SheBelieves Cup. Especially the camps themselves. What has been the difference in messaging for, say, like the January camp and SheBelieves in particular? Or is there a different vibe that's gone along with it? What has been the general sentiment for you guys?
Yeah, I think January was really focused on like learning and the education and kind of layering in our tactics and our philosophy and how we want to play. And, obviously we had a ton of new players, and we still have quite a few new players here as well. But January was really like week 1 of preseason, introducing sort of like, this is the way we want to play. This is what we want to do on the ball, off the ball. This is how we want to attack, defend, all that. And now we're really like applying it. And I mean, look, it's a tournament. Like, as much as Emma and her staff, like there's never a time where we're not layering in that philosophy and the tactics and the ways that we want to play. We are constantly evolving and I think implementing those things into every training, every meeting, all of it. But now we have, an amazing opportunity to have a tournament and to really like see these things come to life. And so you kind of had this week where you're learning about it. Okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. And now we have an opportunity to actually put that to the test against, great opponents. And so it's going to be a great challenge for us. And like I said, I think this year specifically is like just such a perfect opportunity for all of us, both as individual players and as a team, to put these things to the test, to continue to develop our learning. Like there's no arrival point in any of that. And I think to start off this year with a tournament like SheBelieves is, again, just a great way to start and to continue to implement those learnings.
All right. You mentioned the opponents a little bit there already. You've all got Colombia coming up on the schedule here. And listen, game day, everybody gets up. Players get up for it, coaches, fans, obviously, media as well. Everyone loves a game day.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the team get out there and get after it against Colombia. For this team in particular, this is going to be the first time that you're all facing Colombia, I believe, since the Gold Cup. And it was a quarterfinal, kind of knockout round style type of match. What are maybe some things that you remember about going up against Colombia during the Gold Cup that maybe are just a little bit different going up against them in SheBelieves Cup here?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some similarities in that. The last time we played them, it was early in our season as well. Kind of like similar time of the year. I think it is a little different playing them in a tournament like this versus a quarterfinal knockout kind of round. Now that doesn't change at all, obviously, the job that we want to get done, right? Like, we play every game and enter every training session to win. That is the DNA of this team. They are a very aggressive opponent, technically, so talented, and we know that they're gonna come out with everything that they got. And I think they're a perfect test for us especially to start a tournament like this. I think compared to, I think our team is just in a very different place playing them this year than we were last year. I think last year it was I believe right after maybe we had lost to Mexico. And so we were, we just were so eager to get back out there and to make a statement. And I remember that game was very competitive. It was super physical, and we expect that same team. But I think it is amazing to kind of even just reflect on like the growth that our team has experienced from playing them last year to playing them now. And I'm sure their team has experienced the same. So I think it's going to be just a great matchup. It's going to be a great way to start the year. And again, I'm sure there'll be chaotic, crazy moments on both sides, but I'm just excited to get back out there again with the team and to, again, play an opponent that's really going to test us and help us grow.
I want to jump back a little bit to something you already mentioned, uncapped players. In this current pool, especially in training, I want to know what you've seen out of some of those players in terms of their game that has been remarkable or that you've taken notice that we haven't seen outwardly yet. Like, give us the tips. What's the scouting report?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so much talent in this pool, and it's so exciting to see the way that we're investing in that. And I think as a player who had a very like unique journey getting here, I think I'm so like stoked for these players that are getting this opportunity and that get to be exposed to this environment so early. I mean, again, I could talk for a while just about like their tactical ability, their ability to apply information. I think like what I'm most struck by is just like their professionalism. I think they're so mature and I mean, like on field and off the field, and the way that they approach, just like the nuances of the game from, the details off the field, your recovery, nutrition, meetings, contributing in like small group discussions, whatever it might be. And I think about myself at that age, and I'm like, I don't know what I would have done, but I'm not sure it would be this. And I'm struck by just how mature and professional they are. And I know that those attributes are going to take them such a long way. And, they are ready for this moment. And I think the fact that, again, we are bringing in these new and younger players is only going to help set up our team for success in the future. And so the fact that they're, I'm sure that they've got the nerves and that it feels maybe like an overwhelming experience for them. But, a huge focus of this camp for us too is players that have now been around for longer is to just help bring them along and encourage them and build them up to be the best that they can be. And they're doing a great job of that.
It's so wild to hear you talk about these players in this capacity because you're also 26. Like you're a young person as well.
I hope so. I look at them, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is Lily, like 17? I'm like, oh gosh, like no, it makes me feel old. But yeah, I mean, again, I feel like the ability to just, even like on the bus today, Lily's asking me some questions about like how we want to attack, how we want to defend, her positioning. And I'm like, I love this. Like, it makes me so happy to be able to, just help bring them along in any small way. And like, I'm learning from them too. I mean, they're ballers. Like they're out there holding their own and making an impact on this team. And I think everyone's going to see that in these 3 games. And I think the more, again, we can continue to expose the team to different, situations like this in a tournament where there's a trophy to win at the end of it. Like these are the situations we want to be in at this point, kind of in this cycle. We have so many big things down the road we want to do, but right now we're early 2025. There's a She Believes trophy on the line. Like, let's get after it. It's again, a new group, not the most experienced, but I think again, this is just like the perfect way to start.
I love it. Let's, you've been so gracious with your time already. So let's just kind of close it out here, but let's have some fun with it. In the honor of She Believes Cup, we started off with some fun questions. We asked you to write a headline. I love the fresh pot of coffee, energy. So like if you had to pick like a hype song for She Believes Cup or maybe an early anthem for 2025, do you guys have one already?
I mean, I know like the world knows that Strut was our big song from
Keep it going. Keep it on repeat.
I don't think we ever will lose sight of Strut. A song. Oof.
No, sounds like Strut.
I mean, I feel like there are like the quintessential She Believes songs that are like Katy Perry, like Roar, but I don't think those are real. Like, I feel like we're trying to move away from that kind of vibe. I'll have to get back to you on a specific song, but I think anything that just like any song that hits those notes of like, we're getting after it this year, we're turning the page. Like, we're so proud of what we did in 2024, but like, this is a new year and we are in no way, shape or form, like taken a break in any of it. Like this year specifically just excites me so much with like the growth that we can experience both individually and as a team. And I just know that we're going to, make the absolute most of that.
Nice.
I don't know if there are any songs about that.
We'll remix one, Sam.
Yeah, you guys can make one.
Yeah.
On the deck.
Somebody will listen to this and obviously give their
someone can write it. Yeah.
It's all good. Oh my God. I hate to say it, folks, but we ran out of time. We're not going to get into the Squishmallow rotation with Sam Coffey. We'll have to follow up with her on the Squishmallow rotation, unless you want to drop us one. Which one that you brought to She Believes?
I always bring the same one with me to camp. It's this blue dinosaur, and that's like my go-to. But depending on the length of the camp, sometimes I'll bring two.
Okay.
All right. There's always room. There's always room in the rotation.
There's always room. Yeah. Sometimes a spare suitcase if I have to. Yeah.
There you go. You like it. I love it. We all love it. Everybody, hold your Squishmallow tight when you're watching the U.S. Women's National Team take on Colombia in the She Believes Cup. They will also face Japan and Australia. Sam Coffey, thank you so much for joining us today in Attack There. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me.